welcome to the grand finale of the 2026 WFDF World Masters Ultimate Club Championships. We are live at a blustery Highfield Sports Complex at the University of Nottingham. It's been a frenetic and brilliant week of action here, and we have one more game left. 667 down, one to go. It is the Masters Mixed Division Final, featuring the top seed Atlanta Fawkes up against Slower from Boston, an all-American affair here on Independence Day. My name is Benjamin Rees, delighted to be joined by Becky Thompson for what I think promises to be a real barn burner.
Yeah, this absolutely should be one of the best games we've had all week here, Benji. These two teams both undefeated, 8-0 coming into this game, and teams who are both working on developing their play styles as this week has continued, as well as you get a chance to look at the bracket there. Fawkes beating fellow Americans Crown in their semifinal. Meanwhile, Slower, a slightly closer game there against Regret. All four teams there in the semis from the United States get a chance to look at some of the great moments from these semifinals.
Yeah, here is Atlanta Fawkes taking on Crown. Fawkes building themselves an early lead and really showing their strength and depth, running through a very deep roster here with lots of very familiar names, coasting to a 15-8 victory. For Slower, it was a little tougher. They took on Regret from Fort Collins, the Masters equivalent of Shame, who we will of course see at the World Championships in Limerick next month, and they really had to kick on late in order to build themselves a little bit of a gap, and the offhand there provided the finals berth. In terms of players to watch, Piers McNaughton's a man who doesn't really need much of an introduction.
Yeah, someone you can see from his stats is sure to have an impact on this game. 15 goals and 12 assists, over 3 goals a game on average here, Benji, and you can see from the way he plays, he is just someone who creates space, creates options, reading the disc so well on that effort there, and he's going to be a real linchpin for the offense for Slower today.
He's one of those players where, because he's been around for so long, you sometimes forget how good he is, but he still absolutely delivers at the very top level, as we've seen this week. And this week we've not seen many more dominant players downfield than Caitlin Travellini, a true matchup nightmare.
When you said it, downfield in particular, Travellini, 20 goals so far in this tournament, often found in the end zone. A very quick player as well, opening up those cuts into the deep space. She has been strong, getting open to small spaces there as well. Throwing in for the goal. Just looking unguardable so far this week, Benji.
Yeah, neither side has been untroubled, it's fair to say. They've both really been pushed at various points this week, so they are well used to the intensity that a final will provide. Have a look at the wind conditions here in Nottingham. Picked up ever so slightly, gusting at 19 miles per hour. Teams are used to this by this point at the end of a long week, but it's still really something that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. When we spoke to the teams ahead of this game, they talked about the wind being an uncontrollable factor, and it does affect these games, of course, but it is the same conditions for both teams down there on the field, Benji. Of course, some gusts right now of up to 27 miles an hour. That is the problem with this wind, is it's not always consistent, and it can be hard if it changes point by point during this game.
With the stadium, sometimes you get a little bit sheltered from the stands. It's can be a slightly tricky proposition at times, as fans begin to filter back from the Women's Masters medal ceremony into the stands for the grand stand finish here on a wonderful week of Ultimate in Nottingham. No WFDF tournament has ever had more players than the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships here in Nottingham.
It has just been a truly phenomenal tournament here as well, Benji. UK Ultimate and WIFDIF put on an absolute show of how to run a tournament. Everyone I've spoken to has complimented how well organized everything has been, how nice the venue has been, and of course a phenomenal party to cap it off last night for most of the players who were out here, and now getting to watch this last showdown of the week.
Yes, the party that I was definitely at doing my research. Yes, 100%. You know me, nose to the grindstone. Slower in the white, starting to our right. The downwind end zone are pulling to Atlanta Fawkes in the black to the left-hand side, so they will be going downwind to start the game. Big spin pull to start, and we are underway here in this final. The roll curls back towards Slower's end zone before it is stopped and fielded. Pivoting wide with the disc and then pumping it deep, putting air underneath it to nobody in particular. Spiva on a high stool, thought he would chance his arm.
Yeah, Spiva, a long-time mixed division player as well. I think just no options for him early, and credit to Slower, they're really clamped down on those resets there, Benji, making Spiva have to throw for the field position on that turnover.
Stuck right on the corner, have to work the full length of the central zone, but that is not going to happen because Callahan gets the mixed final underway. Ryan Landry lays out. The disc was down the wrong line. He saw him and he stole a march. And Atlanta Fawkes on the board with the Callahan. That is why you don't mind throwing it away going downwind, because what a way to get it back.
Can ask for a more exciting way to start this Masters Mixed Division final. That disc just sat for so long in a full extension layout there from Landry. You could see when he realized he was going to be able to make a play on that disc, goes to ground, and the celebrations from his teammates who get this amazing slow-mo shot. That disc was trailing so far away from him. He had to commit so early. That is incredible, Benji.
What a play. Well, any early nerves, I think they might have been somewhat dissipated by that layout Callahan there for Ryan Landry. And now Fawkes will pull with the rarely seen zero pass hold. Trying motion cutters out of space. Now turning, looking downfield, a little dish off, a pick away from the disc, and everyone finally gets the message. Smith's reset centrally. Pump fake with the backhand. And now tossed into space, back to Smith. Shooting low, the bid comes through. On the end zone line, not going to force it in just yet. A riser, well handled. Now continuing around, all the blade on this is awkward, and that is snatched away. How many times have we seen that down the years from Byron Luke? Unfortunately, the drop will give it back. High release. Popped over the mark towards the far sideline. Fawkes trying to play that bend but don't break defense. We will not let you over the plane until then. A little bit of Oyo shape, the outside in edge through the inside out channel. Lexi Zalk with the score.
Yeah, Zalk doing a really good job to hang on to that one. There was a lot of zip on that disc into her hands. Great pressure from the Fawkes defense as well there. Both of these teams not starting cleanly yet on their offensive points, but getting the holds nonetheless. You get another look at that massive block there.
Fortunately, the drop from Hill gave it back, and then standing, looking, and delivering slower for the score. Josh Cricket Marquette, a Hall of Famer, on the assist.
Get another look here at the defense from Slower.
Tapped in on the sideline from Landry. Just going to take the reset to Spiver, who was part of the Victoria side in Limerick 4 years ago, playing with Descent out of the nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Here's Travellini. Curls that around, back into the hands of Spiver. Carmichael gets the foot down in bounds. Still on the end zone line. Spiver with the toss to Carmichael for the score.
And this time around, Fawkes getting their clean hold on the board. A lot more comfortable than that first possession they had in this game. Getting pushed towards that near sideline on your view on the cameras here. That is the low side of the field with the way the wind is going. It is a pretty upwind, downwind game, but that near sideline is a really difficult position to be pushed into. So I think maybe the Slower defense comfortable or more comfortable with Fawkes being stuck in that position. But on this time around, Spiva was able to go every other pass before just having a cheeky push pass in for the goal.
You love to see it. Push passing all over the world. 2-1 then. Just trading so far. The first clean hold of the game goes the way of Atlanta Fawkes. And Atlanta is a city that's had a lot of good ultimate history, but I tend to think of it more as a single gender hub rather than mixed. But Atlanta Fawkes have clearly got something cooking in the last few years.
Yeah, this team been together for about 4 years now, Benji. It all coming together right now for this tournament, this game.
Marquette curls it towards the back of the end zone, but it dies just short.
Yeah, you could see what Marquette was looking for on that option. Trying to put some touch on that disc, and unfortunately just getting pushed down at the last moment there.
Looking for the edge, but even the best clearly finding a little bit of trouble with these fierce winds. Guns it anyway. Oh, it's tipped further on. It might allow the second effort. It was a huge bid from Kelvin Williams. Came up empty. Ripped down back the other way by Trahey. And there was a hand on it, but it couldn't secure it. McNaughton was the target. Lou looks to continue the swing but doesn't see it. Still count rising. Now there's a player wide open downfield. I think almost baiting them to throw that into the breeze. Been able to work it out of their own end zone. Fane goes short to Robinson. Really twitchy athlete. Smuggles it through to Lou. Lou steps up and rips it. There's a target downfield and it's off the hand. The defender did just enough. Jackie Fane was the target. Got to credit the downfield defense there being provided by Alexi Zalk.
Zalk really did so well to gain yards once that disc had gone up. Got just a fingertip to it to push it away.
Zalk with disc in hands now. Finds Trahey as the reset. pick away from the play as the throw downfield is intercepted. Seems like there's a foul as well.
Yeah, and on that one, when the deep shot came up, an injury looks like it's going to be called here, Benji. When that deep shot came up, Dory Zipperstein was shrieking wide open under, but not recognized by the thrower, and instead shooting to what wasn't an open option deep.
You had this clear, didn't you? Okay. No stall. Okay. Coming in now.
Topher Davis comes in as the injury replacement, if I put my teeth back in. No stranger to a commentary booth himself. That time a foul by Zauk on the undercut from Faye. Rising still trying to stick with a reset. Works it out to Landry. He's getting a lot of touches early here. Robinson on the sideline. Got a slightly different angle with the lefty. Looks to curl it over everyone. What a find that is. Kelvin Williams, all the edges, all wrong there. Flying bid came through. That could have been very dangerous from Robinson. And he's hurt himself in doing so.
We have heard, Benji, from a few players that the ground here has been a little bit hard. We did have a big heat wave in the UK last week, which definitely dried out the fields here a little bit. So some of those bids just maybe taking a big knock, came flying through. Like you said, nearly could have been a bit dangerous. So he just opened up a cut on his arm, probably one he's had from earlier in this week as well.
That's it's going to smart a little bit, to put it mildly. Our medical team right there to provide treatment. Third possession this point then. Make that fourth, in fact, for Slower. Finding it tough sledding. A blade over the top to the back of the end zone. Could only tip it over the crossbar and behind.
And McNaughton there really had to go up for that early there, Benji, as well as he was running out of yards at the back line. You could see why he went up for it, trying to get that toe in bounds there. Just slightly too high.
Working that one through to Landry with the mark on the floor. Provides a much easier throw. Oh, that one's tipped. And where did Nicky Spiver come from? Didn't even remember him coming on the pitch. But he must have done on the injury to Robinson. Landry now looking downfield. He's going back to Spiver. Oh, sneaky through there to Spiver. Lou slashing across the front of the end zone, drawing a couple of defenders. Still count rising, looks to just about pin it on to Bido. But Bido can't catch it.
And at that point, Benji Spiver got a little bit locked in on the end zone. Stall count climbing. I think maybe could have turned to activate his reset instead there.
Trahey charges downfield, plants thundering footsteps underneath. Doesn't like the look of Zauk down the line, going to sit this out towards the break side, where McNaughton catches. And then that one is called down, and there's no disagreement, little slap of hands afterwards.
Yeah, just skipping off the turf there.
I could see Spiver gunning this here. That's exactly what Spiver does. Looking for the big man downfield, and Kelvin Williams splits the bracket, and the first break of the game goes the way of Atlanta Fawkes.
Kelvin Williams rising above two defenders, sandwiching him there as well. It is such a hard play for a receiver between those two defenders to go straight up, avoid contact as well. He's done such a fantastic job there. reading it all the way. Get another shot of that incredible possession saving grab from Nikki Spiva. And that one unfortunately was just down before it skipped into the hands. You can see the celebrations here for this team from Atlanta. A big break and a big upwind break here as well, Benji. We've talked about it a lot throughout this week, but we've seen these breaks often come in pairs when you're able to get that upwind one first.
And the injuries slightly worked in Fawkes' favour there, because you're able to get someone with the throwing power of Nikki Spiva going against the wind. Spiva, of course, a 2-time World Games alternate. And in many eyes, maybe a little bit unlucky not to make the whole shebang. That was back in 2013 in Kali, Colombia, and 2017 in Wrocław, Poland.
That disc should just skip out the back of the end zone line, so it does get to get walked to the front here.
Looking at the inside channel, and in the end doesn't have to use it. Wait. Finds a continuation underneath. Reset central players open, and they found them just in time. Here's CFO, Christian Foster. He's sitting out on the D-line, but crossing over to play offense after the break. Back into his grasp now. Breaks it around, into Waite. Waite continues downfield. Marquette bouncing it through, couple of yards away. Foster once more. And Foster just sticks with it at the front of the end zone. Zalk unveils herself, and Slower get the upwind hold, and their first clean hold at that.
You can hear Zalk screaming for that disc there, Benji. She knew she'd put herself into the right position, got her defender on their back foot, getting that little inside pass into the end zone. And we said that before, those breaks have often come in pairs, but Slower had something to say about that, immediately answering with a clean upwind hold after that break before from Fawkes. And Lexi Zalk so far is having a really solid game here at the start of this one.
Just squirrels and scuttles away for it at the front of the end zone. Was part of Boston Slow's title run back in 2016. Turned out to be a pretty good year for Boston Ultimate, with Ironside finally getting over the hump in the Open Division as well. There you are, you can sound the Ironside in 2016 klaxon. There's a fair few of that Ironside roster playing here for Slower. Boston is a city that I think has a really strong mixed culture, because as well as Slower, of course, which is the evolution of Slow, you've got Sprocket, you've got teams like Wildcard as well, they're a little bit below, among others. Like, there is so many good mixed teams in the Northeast. A layout there that comes through just in time. Travellini looking to spread this. Oh, it's a leader that has only tipped the flash into the lane from Rudolph. Did enough to dissuade it.
And a great job as well from Rudolph to avoid contact, make a very safe play on that disc. Just got there into that space early enough.
Can Slower get the downwinder? Not this possession. Not with Lyman sniffing around. This throw is tipped and picked. Dory Zipperstein breaks to the backhand side, squaring up the hips, looking central, back to Zipperstein. That one sinks, and was a hand to it, but it couldn't stop it hitting the turf. Landry motioning players away downfield. Spiver here to Lyman. Toe in on the sideline. Feet reset into position. Doesn't like the first look at Spiver. We'll take the second. Players having to work so hard to get free downfield. A lead pass there, all comes in and out of the hands, and is it caught? No! Not quite. Oh, a miscommunication, saw it late. Somehow she caught it. What work from Rudolph? Now Rudolph tries a lock, and that is exactly why there's a pick. I'm not sure whether it affected.
Yeah, I felt, Sean, like Rudolph looked for that early enough in the throw. You can see the pick did come before the throw, but didn't look to me like the receiver or the thrower were looking at that.
Not to take anything away from the excellent grab
I get the pick
from Alex
the
Capiamba.
The play was over there. Right. No,
Yeah.
the play started here.
So there is a pick between the four of us.
I thought it was quick.
She didn't acknowledge, I believe. Does that affect the conclusion of the?
So where was it? Was that the completion over there?
Yes.
On the last one?
We're all in this throwing space. That will affect us moving here. Will affect that throw. Like we're in this throwing lane. He's going strike. Like I'm like going strike. We're all around the disc. There's 4 bodies around the disc.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on.
Would you guys accept a not necessarily ruling, his interpretation, and see how we go from there?
Yeah, sorry, I asked.
Okay, so I can't actually tell you whether it affected your guys' ability, but if it did affect the ability, then that throw should stay. So it's up to you to come to an agreement on that. If we can't come to an agreement because it's been almost 45 seconds, can we contest it?
So it's coming back.
Sarah, did it affect you at all?
I did.
All right.
That's not what they're saying.
Are we keeping it then? Yeah. Because I keep.
Are you asking? Are we keeping the goal? Or are we keeping the disc?
I'm asking that if we're keeping the it affects it.
I mean, the disc is still ours one way or another. It's either here or there. What I'm saying is, I'm just saying the location of this. If it happened over there, I would agree with you, but we're all around the disc here. Okay. That's what I'm
So
saying.
it sounds like it's contested. Okay. We're keeping it over here. Do we have a stall count?
What's the count then?
Yeah, that's what we're going to try to establish. Coming on 4.
Heck of a grab at the end by Capiamba. The flying horse cow took flight, because those exist in Division 3 apparently, where he played at Oberlin. I'm not sure I agree with the interpretation. I don't think this affected, but Slower will still keep possession as it goes back to Rudolph. Nice sliding snatch towards the far sideline, but lost it on the landing. That's a warm round of applause there for the display of spirit, because I'm not sure that everyone on field saw it.
To be honest, even me, Benji, I thought that disc was up and caught. Surprised to see her put it down.
Fawkes, oh, what a hand block! That was authoritative. And it's turned right back. A potential call, but nothing doing. Hal Leader wishes that one would have stuck. What a hand block, though. Holy. Time for another. Not this time, the inside backhand. Comes off instead, a pump downfield. Spiver. Working with Travellini, the 2 leading goal contributors for Fawkes. Jumps the lane there, that opens up the far side swing to Garrity, who drops it. Very unlike her.
We've seen a couple drops now in this point alone, Benji, and maybe just some of those final nerves starting to settle in. This point when it can carry on for a long time, so you see the teams opt to take a timeout here. when the points get a little bit longer, sometimes you get a little bit tenser, feel the importance of scoring it as well. This would, of course, be a hold for Fawkes if they're able to get it in.
6.5 minutes already this point. Yes, some of that was on the pick call that took back the score. Huge hand block though. Slower will get another break chance to bring us level here. Felipe Delgado's work sees us into the break. Zipperstein picking up off the timeout, jacks it on a high stall to no one except Nikki Spiver. Garrity dishes back to Spiver. Lots of separation on the underneath for Landry. What an important hold this would be for Fawkes. Spiver getting the disc in his hands a lot, trying to drive the offense with his throws. Underneath option there. Ferguson catches and finds Travellini. Landry now looking to get into an end zone set. Oh, they will look to force it to Travellini, who delayed too long. And Sarah Rudolph picked her pocket.
Don't think Travellini knew that Rudolph was in that space. You can see she was milking it almost, looking at the line to make sure she could toe her feet in bounds as well, and Rudolph took full advantage to pick that off.
Just need a little bit better communication from the sideline there. I think that you don't have that time. Davis looking for the rip, but again there's nothing on it. I think seemed to be indicating that he got a hand on it, Ferguson. ATL chance, repping the hometown, coming from Atlanta. Spriver will bring it in. Looking downfield. Landry to Spiver. He's being marked by Capiamba. Spiver rips it. This is up in the balance. Oh, Lexi Garrity snuck in unnoticed, but there was a collision underneath the disc. Good read from Garrity.
I couldn't adjust at all to your path, but it was because I was looking at the disc. Same. So I want to know what someone else has to say about it.
You guys okay? Can you just check that you're okay first?
Are you okay?
Are you good?
All right,
So,
great.
yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Is there a call? Do you want to?
I don't know if it's foul, but I would call foul and ask your perspective because I want to know like what. Because I wasn't looking at you.
I know. I also was looking at you.
I
I thought you were going more this way.
So I want to know what a third party has to say about what happened.
Okay.
In my perspective, you were both running in a straight line and one just stumbled over the other.
Okay.
I don't think that it was malicious and either of you were moving towards each other.
Okay. Well,
in my
I don't
perspective.
think that's incidental because I think I would try to play on the disc. So by definition, I think like that's not because like you're saying it was a yeah. Get off the ground.
Like, misread it and it popped over.
I disagree that we misread it.
I mean,
I think I would have had the disc.
I did feel like I got hit from behind.
Okay.
But I think I also would have had a play.
Well, I think we're both calling fouls, and I don't know that either.
So you're kind of calling a foul on each other, it sounds like. So rules say that it would be treated as an offsetting foul, technically. If you're calling offsetting foul, if you're calling a foul on each other. If you are claiming that one initiated contact with the other and vice versa. But it was...
So, offset fouls?
Yeah.
So,
it should go back. Rules say that it should go back to the last undisputed thrower. Yeah, coming back. Both of them actually had a pretty clear line, so they were not vying for that space. So, yeah. It sounds like it.
You can see what the players are saying here with that. Both of them making contact. We'll get another look at it here. My view of this, Sean, is that actually Jung there misreads the disc alongside Audrey Lyman. Both of them maybe getting sucked in. And I think that one actually was just going over both of their heads to the hands of Lexi Garrity. So I'm not sure if that is the right outcome here.
Either way, the players chose to treat it as offsetting fouls and send it back to Spiver. Catches it on the bounce back. They've got the free swing available. Garrity does have time to watch that one all the way into the breadbasket and gets it out of her hands quickly. A little bit of bounce on that throw. You can tell Fawkes are desperate to not get trapped in high stalls now. They want to keep it moving quickly and bouncing around. Spiver's forced to hold it for a few seconds. A pick for the two number 24s. Dory Zipperstein matched up against Caitlin Travellini. Going to stay here with Travellini. And Zipperstein checks in. Looking at Spiver. I think Spiver was waiting for Travellini to initiate. And vice versa. In the end, they get the reset off. Lyman, that does feel like a pick.
Yeah, that one you could see the coming together of that group of players quite clearly.
Lyman to Spiver. Oh, miscommunication. Snaffled up by Delgado. Not the first time he's been able to get in the way defensively on this point. As a pick, the disc is boosted downfield. Davis catches it just to make sure.
From what I understand. Okay. All right. Yeah. Previous throw.
Back to the Colombian then, Delgado. As part of the Sprocket side that got the silver medal at USAU Club Nationals a couple of seasons ago with some of your Tartu teammates. Davis looking to gun the flick deep again. Defender looks like they've got good position. And Landry does enough to spoil the shot to Delgado.
One of those ones we've seen a few times, especially shooting that downwind direction where Landry just able to be a physical enough presence in the space to make that catch difficult. There is an injury call on the field as well. You can hear the players trying to signal to each other to take a sub of their own. As well, both teams now taking a sub.
Zipperstein and Carver come off to be replaced by Zalk and Rippey respectively. Not bad substitutions to have on either side. This point's turned into a real meat grinder now. 16.5 minutes. The timeout was taken 10 minutes ago. Pumps the fake to Spiver. The freshly introduced Rippy catches and cannot connect. Throw downfield, another injury call.
Yeah, and that injury happened well before that throw came up, meaning the disc should return here. Benji, an injury call is a stoppage when the injury occurred.
Delgado off, McNaughton on. Trying to spy if anyone from Fawkes is going to take a breather. And they're going to sub off Ferguson for Lou. This point is as much mental as it is physical at the moment.
Yeah, I've said it a few times in some of these games, especially with the wind, Benji, but the length of the point means that it doesn't really matter who started on offense and defense. It can be a massive mental push to a team to come away with a goal at the end of these marathon points. It can really ignite some momentum.
Are you okay to agree that it did not and just play there? Okay. Yeah.
51 passes Fawkes have made this point, just the 15 for Slower, who started on defense. Fawkes started on offense. Saying the turnover stands. Felt like a little bit like some of the trust between the two sides had slightly dissipated, but that's a good example there of actually cooler heads prevailing, I think.
Yeah, and the rules, with diff rules, has pretty much a stipulation in almost every category of the rule that both teams can agree a call didn't affect the outcome of the play. So I think that's a great conversation that they've had here.
So the deep shot from Jung stands incomplete. Lou working short with Spiver. Wants to hit the break side. Eventually he finds it to Landry, who has to attack it and snatch it. Spiver shooting. This hangs, but Lou boxes out. He's got a target in the end zone. Can she catch up? No! Ever so slightly off to Audrey Lyman. I understand taking the shot, but given how long this point has gone on, I think I'd look to give myself a slightly easier option.
Yeah, it was a very open cut, just misexecuted. I think we've seen, Benji, in this point that Fawkes have struggled when they've been on that doorstep of the end zone, so maybe looking to actually not even get set in that end zone, not let Slower clamp on their stack, trying to maybe just rush that pass a bit.
McNaughton shooting downfield for Zalk. This looks good and is. Jung trying to curl it over the top. That's got nowhere near enough juice. Spiver doesn't even want to bring it to the front. He just wants to get going. As the point ticks in to its 21st minute now. By far the longest we've seen on stream this week. At least on our showcase field. Spiver, that's low and flat, and two players take each other out in the middle. Zalk and Jung.
Hopefully the players are okay here. Jung signaling an injury call.
Could have the weird scenario of the player who went off on an injury sub coming right back on again. But it is going to be Caitlin Fitzgerald who steps in. One of the more bizarre points of Ultimate I've covered in a while. Stays with Landry, who dishes back to Garrity. Wants it out of her hands. Hits Spiver. To Landry, a pick. Some tired bodies and legs out there. Does feel a little bit like the last game of a long week here in Nottingham. Inside shot, finally they hit it. The hardest fought hold you've ever seen. Landry finishes it to Mary Rippey, the Pleiades product, with the score.
It is crazy to think that that was just a hold here for this Atlanta Fawkes team. Unbelievable number of turnovers and passes it took to finally get that disc in for the goal. Can't imagine we'll see any of those 14 players back on the field after that point. Not immediately anyways here, Benji. Hendry on that one, nearly keeping it in his possession.
I mean, this point went on for so long, it's hard to believe that this was in fact the same point. 21 minutes and 38 seconds before Landry could finally hit Rippey for the score. Not surprised to see a lot of fresh legs out there this time. How many opportunities at that downwinder did Slower have that would have brought us back on serve? How many will Fawkes need? Lou came on towards the end of that point. He's back out there. Centres the reset to Chang. And then the high release from Lou in to the returned Tanner Robinson. Fawkes with their second break. Slower had 9 possessions on the previous point to try and get their break back. But Fawkes finally held. And then Slower give the disc up once and get broken again. 5-2.
A clean break here for Fawkes. Obviously, very different point to the one we saw before that. You can see that just slightly behind. And then collected in for the goal. This Fawkes team coming out with a lot of energy on that point. Benji, I think, maybe recognizing how quick the last one had been, and interesting to see now another line out with some new players out here again, Benji. Clearly those players who played offense, we're not going to see them out on the field for a little bit still.
After a marathon point like that, it really does disrupt your line somewhat. The ball sits and hangs before Trahey catches. Foster screens for it on the near side and gets. It's a player wide open on the far side. Foster lays it up in there to McNaughton. He wants it back, he's not going to get it though. Looking down the line just shy of the end zone. Finding the simple pass in. And it feels like a regular game of Ultimate has broken down again. 2 clean holds in a row for Slower. This one into the hands of Elena Schwam.
Yeah, these teams, after that marathon point, coming out and looking both a lot more clinical. Slower really needed to get that hold in here to respond after that break. And needing to now find, Benji, some energy on defense, something a little bit different to come out here and put some pressure on Fawkes. That clearly were able to do so on that marathon point. Again, hard to remember that that was a D point for Slower, even though they didn't come away with it on that one. They clearly have been able to get lots of turns from this Fawkes O-line.
Slower just knocking heads together on the sideline, trying to work out how to power a comeback here. Fawkes got the upwind break, couldn't catch it in immediately, but have done so subsequently. There's Foster with those signature pulls. Getting it beyond the brick mark in this weather is pretty good going. Spiver lofts the backhand. It's going to be tipped. A second effort. Oh, it wasn't quite to be for Carmichael, but fair play for having a go. Slow with a break chance from their own end zone line. Trying to find the inside. Oh, it curls and blades slightly, but Fitzgerald catches. Foster gunning it into the centre there. Wait, back to Foster. Pick away from the plate. Wait, ground checks it back in. Height of that disc was varying, but was caught anyway. Blading throw. Looking to the backfield and the drop. Unable to catch it in the short field was Tangolini. Still rising. Travellini finds the player. Wright continues to Spivo. Wants to just feed it to that open side with the backhand. Does so. Travellini is not happy about the contact.
Foul, no contest. Foul, no contest.
Foul, accepted. Just take your time. Okay. Coming in on one.
Accepted foul. Spiver rips the inside flick. Jake Wright is there on the collection. 6-3.
And Wright just held his space. Didn't have to move an inch for that one to get pinged in from Spiva. Keeping their 3-point advantage here. I feel, Benji, like neither of these teams have really been able to settle into their rhythm still in this game. Both defenses forcing them out of their plan A options, maybe out of their pull plays as well. We saw that last point, Spiva shooting right off the pull on that huck. Definitely looked like something they'd drawn up, but the double coverage defense as well there from Slower, ready for those pull plays. So both of these teams maybe needing to just adjust a bit, go back to the drawing board.
So much traffic on the open side, but gets that pivot a little bit forward so he can access that area past the mark of Grinsvig. And as you mentioned, Wright just held his position and trusted that Spiva would find him. Ball pops up off the floor. It's fielded in the first pass, goes to Trahey. McNaughton now to Zalk. Can't find Trahey, so goes short instead. Schramm has Marquette on the near side. The Hall of Favour surveying his options. And Zalk just tries to hop that one back into the end zone. I'm going to ask the game advisor for their perspective, I think. And they say that the goal is good. Another clean hold there for Slower. 6-4 into the hands of Zalk.
Once again, it's none other than Zalk on the reception as well. Seen her in the end zone so many times for this Slower team.
She's got 3 of Slower's 4 goals.
Get another look at it here. I think just manages to get her feet in bounds really close. I can see why there's a discussion. It's really difficult anytime you're jumping the disc in like that. Sometimes you actually see players drop the disc in that occasion when they're trying to milk it in, but I think just gets her feet off the ground before catching the disc there.
I think we saw a couple of those in the women's final where players were just trying to delay and hop it in, and someone, rather than have the drop, just came through and pilfered it. Sarah Jung is going to pull. For slower. Good hang time on that one. Landry catches the first pass, goes to Spiver. Who else? Runs the wall pass off Ferguson. And trying to craft that to the far side. Oh, it hit the hands. I thought it was going to die early. In the end, it held up for long enough for Lyman to get a palm to it, but no more. Really harsh angle on that one. Lovely downline there to Jung. And Topher Davis fumbles. It's a player deep, and Fawkes are not going to hang around and pull the trigger. They are really making Audrey Lyman work here, aren't they?
Yeah, I think Lyman there just misreading it slightly. The wind did carry it, but I think she could have kept running more, holding that straight line rather than curving back towards the disc, because as soon as you get that outside in angle, we've just seen them pick up and carry further away.
Foster ordering the downfield minions into position. Another one skips through the hands. Spiver short to Landry. Gets it back, and Travellini, did she keep it up? She did indeed. 7-4 to Fawkes.
Few errors there from Slower. I think something that they may just need to take a moment to resettle themselves here, Benji. Not necessarily from the pressure defense from Fawkes either at this point. Mostly coming down to just a few of their own key mistakes, and this Fawkes team are getting better as this game goes on. So the more times you give them those options, see how close that one was, they're going to take advantage.
You see there that one going through the hands. And finally, Spiver's able to hit Travellini just about for the score.
We did just see as well, Benji, during that last point that the Fawkes D-line was meeting on the side of the field, having a discussion about how they wanted to adjust their defense, despite having a lead right now in this game, clearly feeling like they could still make adjustments. They were talking about pushing the Slower offense more to this near side of the field, letting them have the disc closer to this sideline to trap them in that uncomfortable position in the wind.
I think both sides would readily admit that they've both got many extra gears to go into. Man mountain Trahey with big pump fakes, but he swings, and now they find the underneath. Forced to hold on to this one, still count rising, trying to curl it downfield for Zalk, who dropped it. The pick will be retracted. Springy Robinson picks up. Finds Rippey. There's a poach over on the far side if she wants it, which she does not. Fane instead goes back to Lou. Robinson drawing players with him deep. It's going to leave an under on the near side for Williams, which they opt not to take. Really trying to show McNaughton that he wants to pump it here, Lou. Maybe trying to get him biting and opening up an easier throw. Zipping the inside throw through to Lou. Could take the continuation swing, doesn't want it. Comes around to the backhand side. Force sags off enough to prevent the continuation to Williams. Joe Oakes goes back to Lou, and now Robinson again. Nearly a miscommunication, but Liu gets two hands there, and with things getting slightly frenetic, he's going to take the timeout.
As that point continued there, Benji, the Fawkes stack just got further and further away from Liu. Liu having to work so hard, was really the only player available going every other pass, but that stack just got so stretched out. They were almost too deep in that end zone there, so really needing to condense. I like this timeout call a lot from Liu to try to regroup the play.
Atlanta Fawkes will have the disc with a chance to break for half. When we return, they currently lead Boston Slower 7-4.
This summer, Ultimate takes over the world. From the rising stars of World Junior Ultimate Championships to the seasoned battles of the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships to the biggest stage in Club Ultimate, the World Ultimate Club Championships. Watch it all unfold live exclusively on Ultiworld.
Welcome back to the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships here in Nottingham. Mixed final. Fawkes have the disc and a 7-4 lead and a chance to take half. Liu instantly rips it. They clearly had a plan in mind, and that plan worked. An absolute treat. Route 1 hit the big man downfield. Can you do it on a cold, windy afternoon in Nottingham? Joe Oakes can.
Just before that disc went up, I was thinking that actually that stack still looked really stretched out from Fawkes. Oakes was so far back already in the end zone, but Liu clearly very comfortable to just throw his receivers open. No hesitation on that. Put so much touch on that disc, and that will take half here as well for Fawkes.
That one just curls back into the path of Joe Oakes for the score. Well, a slightly strange half certainly, but one where Atlanta Fawkes have got their noses, or should that be beaks, in front. 8-4 they lead Slower here at the half.
Boston has its glory.
Jeff Babbitt with the size, the speed, the read.
Did he throw it the full 80 yards of the field?
You cannot kill this Minnesota team.
Are you believing what you're seeing? My hands are on my head up here in the booth.
Was there any doubt? Was there any doubt? Holy smoke!
The last game of the week here at the 2026 World Masters Ultimate Club Championships, the largest WFDF event ever. Atlanta Fawkes have an 8-4 lead at halftime on Boston Slower. Atlanta Fawkes coach Dave Bedell joins us on the sideline. Coach, what do you make of that first half?
No, it's a
Great first half. Honestly, a lot of the wind at play here. I think realistically, Gryffindor's in a great spot when we think about the House Cup. They have about a 200-point lead over Slytherin, and I think that's exactly kind of where we want them. So overall, like, they're making brave throws out here in the wind, and yeah, I think Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff kind of need to pull it together for us if we want to close out the half.
But what is the message then to you, Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, for them to improve here?
I mean, I think the message is, like, remember your fundamentals, right? Remember your basics. Expecto Patronum, right? Wingardium Leviosa. We got to take it back to the simple stuff that we really learned early on in our first, second years, and that's what's going to just walk the disc down the field for us.
Obviously, aside the quality of Boston slower, you know that they'll be making adjustments at halftime as well. How do you stave off complacency after you've got yourself a decent size advantage?
No, that's a great question. I mean, Slowers know, that they're a very, very good team. A lot of good depth there, incredible skill, and I don't think they're any stranger to these conditions. So, as far as staving off a potential comeback, right? You've seen it before a million times. I think there's a lot of depth and experience on our team. Folks are used to these experiences and these big moments. We got some great wizards and witches contributing for us. So I think we're just going to really lean on that experience and that depth to help just keep nerves steadied and settled, and again, just strong second half. Close it out.
Thank you very much, Professor. We'll let you get back to your students.
Thank you. Cheers.
There you go. How's that for committing to the bit? Atlanta Fawkes with the 8-4 lead here on Boston Slower at half. 39 turnovers in total. Nearly half of those came on 1 point.
I think that's a crucial part of the story of that first half, Benji. That one marathon point was so massive, but Nikki Spiva so far having a really good game here for Fawkes. 4 assists out of their 8 points and 2 blocks as well. Wonder what house he's in, Benji.
Certainly one to be watching there. You can have a look at the completed pass count as well. The Atlanta Fawkes D-line has had the disc a lot, but credit the O-line defense there from Boston Slow for just forcing longer extended possessions. Caitlin Fitzgerald of Boston Slower joins us on the sideline. Thank you for joining us, Caitlin. What did you make of that first half?
It was a bit of a grind, and I know that we would have liked to have given the crowd a better show, but I think both teams are fighting really hard and enduring through the wind.
Even with the wind and stuff, it can obviously be a bit challenging, be an extra player on the field at time. Is there any adjustments that you're making going into the second half to manage that?
The only thing we've talked about and that we know that we need to do is continue cutting with confidence, not letting the wind adjust any of our movement on the field, because we have throwers who the wind is not as much a factor. And we know that we are getting opportunities. Our D is applying good pressure, we're going to continue to get opportunities, and we've got the legs to do it.
And on that matter, it's the last game of a long week here in Nottingham. How do you find the energy to rev the engine up one more time and get going?
I mean, there's nothing better to be on a big stage in front of a bunch of peers, in front of a bunch of people who we've played with and against throughout the years. I mean, so many people out here have long careers with many people in the crowd, so it's just fun. There's no stakes, high reward out here. It's a lot of fun.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Caitlin. We'll let you get back to your teammates. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Very measured there from both sides, I think, actually, although one a little zanier than the other. That was how the game started. The ludicrous layout Callahan from Ryan Landry. And on the balance of play, it feels like Fawkes have been more consistent, but that's not to say that Boston Slower have not had their share of highlights. I mean, that's a layout hand block from behind by Felipe Delgado. I don't know if I've ever seen that. In the end, the timeout, the set play, the big rip to Joe Oakes took Atlanta Fawkes into half, where they lead Boston Slower 8-4.
Get the ultimate news you need to know with the Deep Look podcast. I'm Charlie Eisenhood.
And I'm Keith Rayner. And together we bring the games, names, and moments in Ultimate to your podcast feed. We talk Ultimate's biggest news from on and off the field about and with the people making it.
And every week we go live on YouTube. Come join the fun, the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Boston Slower, 7 on the line, ready to start this second half. The 668th and final game of the 2026 WFDF World Masters Ultimate Club Championships here in the East Midlands, in the city of Nottingham, Robin Hood country. The pool goes up from Atlanta Fawkes to get the second half underway. Trahey spots out on the near sideline, just to see how the half-time break affects both these sides. Marquette lofts that one to Schwamm, who sees Marquette, and Marquette just about edges it past Byron Liu into McNaughton for the score.
Liu was hunting for that diss there, Benji. You can see the smile on his face. He knows how close he was to that, but Slower coming out of halftime with a really nice, efficient, clean hold. Exactly the way you want to start this second half, especially when your team is trailing by a few points. Nice, calm, and confident possession.
It's what you want after a very up and down first half for both sides, I think it's fair to say. You come out, you receive, you're going downwind. Don't get yourself into too much trouble. This was probably the diciest moment, but how many times has Marquette done that over the years? I must admit, I'm enjoying Nikki Spiver's baseball cap there. Sarah Jung pulls. Drives it down the centre of the field. Landry to Spiver, pretty much bang on the brick mark. And Spiver rips the flick. This is going to hang. It's going to be an awkward read. But in the end, a simple D for the speed across the grass. Piers McNaughton with a nonchalant pat to the floor. The hard work was done with the closing speed. Nice find on the inside flick to Jung, who's airing it out. That's Piers McNaughton again. Can't keep him out of the game at the moment. Davis back to McNaughton. And he is able to find the break side option. The goal is good. He thought he had one in the first half. It was called back on a pick. This time, Alex Capiamba will get a first break of the game for Boston Slower.
What a time to do it as well. Clearly adjusting well out of halftime here. Off to the races on that. Jung with a gorgeous throw into the wind as well. Really opened up the space here for Slower. And then the defense just never quite recovered after that deep shot there, Benji.
Hoping those dark grey skies in the background are not ominous portents for either side. Slower, evidently, the half-time, an opportunity to get the extended stoppage, get a mental reset. Seems to have worked rather well for them. Jung will pull again as Fawkes work into the wind. And that really picked up speed And that's why Chang decided that actually she'd rather duck out of the way. Spiver to Landry. Well weighted into Carver. Midi Chang on the far sideline. A sliding Travellini in the centre collects. Doesn't like the look of Spiver as the reset, but Chang is very much open and has it in her hands once more. A measured possession so far, but a dicey moment there, which Lyman finally comes up with one. They've made her work so hard for these. That one does stick. Travellini can chase that down. A little pop to Spiver. Spiver down the line for Travellini. Scores. Fawkes on the board in this second stanza.
And how about Audrey Lyman on that point there? Full extension layout to save possession, helping her team walk it up the field the rest of the way. And you were spot on, Benji. They've been making Lyman work so hard throughout this game, asking a lot of her, and she has delivered. Travellini as well. Great goal scorer for this team from Atlanta. Get another look at that. Had to react so quickly. That disc was coming in with so much speed.
I mean, they've made Lyman go back to the well time and time and time again. And it felt only right that eventually one of them would go away. Those first half errors seem to have eliminated themselves from the game a little bit here. A monstrous pull that I think is actually comfortably out the back from Hardman. Could have done with it being a little softer. As Tom Styles heckles him through the public address system. Sorry, DJ Tom Styles. Where are my manners? He was on the wheels of steel at the party last night. To rave reviews, I'm sure. The rip into the breeze from Marquette. It's tipped. It's still alive. I think Zalk had that.
I completely agree, Benji. It looked so much to me like Zalk had full control of that disc. A lot of bodies in the space.
There's a maelstrom of bodies in there. Oakes gets the tip. I think she has that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have fully stopped rotation.
Okay, so you want game advisor perspective? Camera? Okay.
If I can have a look at it. One of the cameras behind the end zone.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay. You happy with that? Are you guys agreed? Okay.
Good use of technology there. Kept it nice and speedy. The goal is good. Incredible work from Lexi Zalk.
Zalk had her eyes locked on that disc the whole way, tracking it down after the tip on the block. Definitely had two full hands to that disc there. We'll get another look at it from this angle. The super slow-mo. Can see Zalk full clap, stops rotation as well of that disc. Full control. No doubt that that is definitely a goal here, Benji.
And everyone walks away okay as well, which is nice because there was a fair coming together there. Lovely to get the angle on Kalakovic Cam from behind the far end zone, but he still managed to get a shot right down the line, which was very courteous of everyone else to not get in the way. A little over 26 minutes left of game clock. doubt we're going to get all the way to 15 here. Wonder if the slower pace suits one of these sides.
I think at this point, Benji Slower will be hoping to use every moment to come back into this game, but the second half having a different feel to it so far from the first half of the game. It's a massive pull, lands just at the back of the end zone there and rolls out.
With that speed, I felt it was probably always going to roll out. At the very least, everyone's got a time to get down there. A signature CFO pull, that one. I think he built up a long, hard-earned reputation as the game's best puller. Lofted downfield to Carmichael. Sneaks it back to Spiver. Lovely leader down the line. Returns it to Carmichael, and now Travellini. Not a lot of room for Spiver, but enough. He wants to get it off the sideline somewhat sagely. Travellini absorbs contact there from her opposite number, Zipperstein. Spiver again sitting this out into space. Foster goes early. Travellini tracked it to provide backup. Good work. And now Travellini turns and burns to the open side and swipes it in for the Fawkes score. Scoring in that left-hand end zone against the wind, which has seemed so tough for so many this weekend, has now become par for the course.
Travellini looking almost a little bit exhausted there after that. She worked so hard on that point, Benji, and I love watching the way she sets up her cuts as well. She always goes so early, anticipating the next possible throw and looking unguardable in that end zone space.
We know what Nicky Spiver can do when he's on form, and he's been a little bit hit and miss in this game, but he's been asked to do such a heavy bulk of the workload offensively, and he's carved them up to the tune of 6 assists. And come up in the clutch when needed elsewhere. There are a few in the game perhaps who possess the firepower that Spiver does. Although, having said that, it is not just firepower. He's shown the finesse needed at times as well.
I think that's something that Spiva does so well. He's really kind of the tempo setter of this offense as well here for Fawkes. Can open up the play with his throws, but can easily be the go-to reset as well, consistently getting himself free in that space.
Marquette turns and gestures at the big shot, but doesn't commit. Player wide open on this near side is Waite. And Oakes somehow eludes him. Trahey looking at the end zone. Tried to backpedal that one in. There was a pick a few seconds ago.
Yeah, I was going to say that pick definitely happened quite a few seconds before that throw. Everybody else in the end zone had stopped moving. So this one I do think should come back.
It is going to return to Trahey here.
Three, two, one.
Checked back in by Oakes. As the throw goes wide to Waite, and the follow-up to Marquette is delivered true. 8-10 the score. Fawkes still on top here.
Yeah, Fawkes in top, but Slower not going away easily right now, Benji. Leading the second half here so far. That one break to their name. Looking a lot more comfortable in the conditions as well are both of these teams, Benji, in this half. All the goals being scored in this upwind end zone right now.
Yeah, Marquette on the score. I'm going to call him proudly boring, Josh Marquette, because he gave us very little to work with, but of course He is a Georgia native from Atlanta, coming through the world-famous Paideia High School. But that was a long time ago. Jung has the disc in her hands, ready to pull. So 4 female, 3 male matching players on the point. That pull takes the edge, lands out of bounds, and Spiver will bring it in at the brick mark. Davis is waiting for him to set the force. Very large post on Chang on the near side. Doesn't matter. Spiver rips it anyway, right onto the numbers for Lyman. Lyman looks to force it in and does so. Pulls the ripcord and finds Ferguson on the hold.
It needed that outlet there. The stall count was climbing. Once again, it's Audrey Lyman doing bits for this Fawkes team. Open in so much space there. The disc from Spiva did start to fall a little bit short, but had so much time to react and readjust her cut. She just has to take 2 steps back to make that catch. And then just great patience on this end zone line, waiting for that cut from Ferguson to open up between 2 defenders as well.
We had 39 turnovers in the first half of this game. In the second half, we've had 1. Frisbee's a funny old game, isn't it? And the wind that really looked like it was causing a problem for both sides in that first half seems to be much less of a factor at the moment.
Yeah, I think a case as well of both teams settling their nerves in the second half and recognizing that for the most part we've had windy conditions like this throughout the week as well here in Nottingham, Benji. So teams actually have been able to adjust a bit throughout the week, adapt to the conditions. Sometimes you just need to remind yourself that you can still play good Frisbee in wind like this.
Spiver crossing over to defense pools. This one is measured well, but it does skip through the back line of the end zone. Spectator tries to return it unsuccessfully to Trahey. And having spooled, Spiver's ready to set the mark here. Side stack on the far sideline. McNaughton isolated in space in the centre. I think he's going to go break side. Spiver recognises it and stops it. That low throw doesn't really get off the turf. Chance for Fawkes to break would be their first of the second period. And a delicious little toss from Spiver might not stick. Zark was down, but they decide that it did not affect, and that is a Fawkes break. The break around didn't get going, and Spiver punished it.
That's why you cross over Spiva to that defensive line here, Benji. A crucial time in this game for them to get a break. See that low throw, maybe a little touch on the mark there as well. Spiva went over so quickly, and that's the second time we've seen Spiva throw a push pass into the end zone as well.
You see that in the second half, only the 2 turnovers. It's been remarkably clean, especially considering the extreme clutter and mess of that first period. Seven assists now for Nikki Spiver, to go along with 2 blocks.
And 4 of those were in the first half, so 3 already since halftime. Nikki Spivak having a lot to say about whether or not Fawkes will come home with the gold.
Throwing 6 turnovers and he's still at +3. How's that for a workhorse? Foster gunning this one, looking for Marquette, and he was chopping his feet at the end as the height of the disc varied. But once more, he finds himself in perfect position. Could barely do it any quicker than that.
It's a perfect response here for this slower team. And a perfectly executed play there as well. Marquette, another goal on the board.
5 assists, 2 goals, no turns. No turns! You kidding me? Really good focus there and adjustment from Marquette.
Just took 1 step to adjust his line on that. That disc was zipping in quite quickly. See, the defender got sucked in by the initial position before the wind carried that disc away from him. See the smiles on the faces as well from this Fawkes O-line. Looking like they're enjoying themselves out here, Benji.
And there was a time when it felt like getting to the 15 score cap was never on the cards. But at 12-9, just under 15 minutes left, it feels like we might. Landry hustles to it. Spivak, they've got an isolation downfield. Carmichael comes under McNaughton. Goes quickly to a sliding Travellini. McNaughton clouds up the open side. Oh, it's over, everyone! And not for the first time this game. Lexi Garrity's perfectly positioned. How does she keep getting away with it?
Garrity just swooping in there, and Benji, Audrey Lyman was also in that space, so Fawkes having more than one option on that collection there. If you're going to have a late stall count throw, there's no 2 people you'd rather have than Lyman and Garrity in that position. Travellini just gets some air under it, and you see, yes, 2 players there easily could have caught that goal.
Garrity with the signature tucked in sleeves, even on a sleeveless jersey, which I respect the commitment to. See Caitlin Travellini there, throwing her first assist of the game to go along with 3 earlier goals. All smiles Atlanta Fawkes at the moment. You see why, they're 4 up and they only need 2 more to win. You'd much rather be in their shoes at the moment.
Absolutely, they've had such a clean second half here as well, Benji. Just been so efficient. Both teams really have. Right now, Fawkes just having the better of this slower side.
Downfield, Sam Hill was looking for it and tried to sniff it out, but Schramm got there first. Another big bid comes in from Robinson, but Marquette catches Zalk. Spanners it. Robinson winds up. It feels to me like it was tipped. And you see Cricket point to his shoes. It was indeed a foot block for Marquette. Trey just takes a couple of steps back before it's checked in by the man Mountain Williams. Zipperstein attacks the break side to McNaughton. Waves Marquette out of the way. That one dropped in over to Trahey. Marquette's just shy of the end zone. Looking to force it in. Got Trahey as a reset. There's a stoppage. A pick away from the play. This one, Zalk lets it through again. It was a tight space, but we saw what she did in the other end zone, and we know she's more than adept at catching those.
Yeah, I was going to say uncharacteristic there from Zalk, especially of what we've seen in this game.
Her second drop of the point, in fact. That one, there was a defender nearby. Robinson tried to attack it. Marquette picks up quickly. Looks to sneak it to McNaughton, but a call which the crowd very much enjoys, as you can tell. It's a pick.
Doesn't matter. Right?
Okay.
Still on 2. Marquette goes into the backfield. Stretching it wide. Zalk hangs on to this one. It was going to happen eventually. Sinocrop on the assist.
You're not going to see Lexi Zalk make the same mistake 3 times here. Doing a great job to reel that one, and great timing on that cut as well. Not to mention the break throw in for the goal. Slower trying to keep themselves in touching distance, but right now really needing a break here, Benji, to bring themselves back into this game. Fawkes only 2 points away from the title, and the way they've been playing in the second half, they've been very, very hard for Slower to stop.
Let's have a look at Lexi Zalk, because aside from the couple of drops there, she's been oh so reliable, doing damage downfield with those sure hands. 5 goals.
Yeah, frequently finding herself open in those small spaces as well, which has led to most of those 5 goals, as you mentioned, Benji. In this grab here, just sensational vision on that.
She did so well to find herself in bounds and spot the disc and catch it and hold on to it through all the contact. An unreal play. Now Spiver ripping it. Travellini's tracking it, and she had to backpedal slightly as she was catching. Thunks out of her hands. And she has to take the injury. I think Caitlin Fitzgerald was just trying to remember what the WFDF symbol was as opposed to the USAU one. It's the hands clasped over the head as opposed to the touching of the shoulders. It's so tricky when you're backpedaling like that, and you have to go for it one-handed to get the right height. Rippy comes on. And it's going to be Foster who strides to the front of the end zone with disc in hand. The undercut into the gut of Cappy Amber. Foster collects it on the near sideline, looking to stretch the field slightly with his throws. There's not an option for it though. Now still count rising, and another drop from Slower, and they've begun to plague them in the last couple of points.
Absolutely, Benji. I do think that's been a bit of the story of this game for Slower today as well. Lots of their own mistakes, not so many blocks coming from Fawkes.
Spiver curling that one around to Lyman. Screaming for it in the centre is Landry, and Landry goes to Rippy, who came in off the injury stoppage to bring Fawkes within 1 of gold.
Fawkes just in complete control here in the second half. Like you said, Benji, just 1 point away, and it really for Slower has been the case of just, you can hear Landry there saying hi to folks back home. But for Slower, just a case of those mistakes, crucial areas at crucial times as well. 1 too many drops at this point, and Fawkes is always going to punish them for it.
Timeout on the field here. Ryan Landry coming through the University of Auburn ATOS program. Made college nationals a couple of times back in the 2010s. And actually made it all the way to the quarterfinals. Powered by the trombone-playing antics of Hank Womble. 14-10 the scoreline. Atlanta Fawkes can almost taste the gold. But you can bet your bottom dollar that Slower will not give it to him easy.
Yeah, no surprises there. Benji Slower taking that timeout, trying to regroup. It would be a big ask for them to go on this run right now, but we have seen big comebacks like that before. It's all got to start, of course, with a hold.
ATL chance coming from the sideline. How much Fawkes would love to end this right here. Get the block, go the other way, and ice it. It will be going to 15 at this point, no matter what.
Benji, you said earlier in the game we weren't sure we were going to get to 15 points, but the efficiency in this second half has just been a completely different game, and they said they wanted to put on a show for the fans, and I think both teams have absolutely done that here, especially in the second half.
No shortage of drama here in the final knockings of the 2026 World Masters Ultimate Club Championships from Nottingham here on Ultiworld. Trahey hits McNaughton, slashing towards that far sideline. Goes with his offhand as he pops it up to Trahey, and Trahey finds his target in the end zone for the smooth, slower score. Sinnerkrop on the score. I'm not sure their offense has looked as good as that all game.
No, that was incredibly crisp and clean. Able to work it up the open side the whole way as well. Didn't look like the Fawkes defense really had a chance to even properly set a force or put too much pressure on them. Getting that hold we said they needed, but now, Benji, they need to be able to go on a run of breaks. They're going to stop this Fawkes team from coming away with the win.
And we know how diverse Marquette's throwing arsenal is. Goes with the offhand there to just help Slower keep accessing that break side. Fawkes then receiving. They will be receiving for as long as this game goes on. They could end it here. If they get the break though against the wind, all of a sudden Slower will get the disc going downwind, and then maybe you're getting in the mind somewhat. Jung guns the pull. Spiver faking the open side. They find the second isolation, Travellini. Spiver jabs into the backfield. Got a wide open player behind in Lyman. Splitting the difference into Landry. The around break from Travellini. Spiver thought he might throw that one to Carmichael, but it seems they're determined to just grind it all the way in, or maybe not. Landry spots an open receiver, and when the lights have burned the brightest, Fawkes have burned the hottest. Atlanta Fawkes 15-11 over Boston Slower, your World Masters Ultimate Club Champions 2026 in the Mixed Masters Division. Atlanta Fawkes.
Just look at what it means to them. The celebrations. They worked so hard throughout the course of this tournament and this game, and really showed us why they were the #1 seed from the beginning here, Benji. Phenomenal job across the board. Some standout performances from the likes of Nikki Spiva, Travellini, Audrey Lyman as well. Just an incredible performance.
In those moments, you really need your big stars to come to the party. That is exactly what Fawkes did. Slower pushed them. It was a much more even contest in that second half. Fawkes did a lot of the damage in the first part of the game, and they were just able to keep their opponents at wing's length.
Get a chance to see this final pass in for the goal. Landry, the visionary shot across the end zone. No defender in the space. Carmichael able to reel it in. Immediate celebrations. They are now the Mixed Masters World Champions, Benji.
You have a look at the game stats for you there. 15-11, the final score. Atlanta Fawkes only broken the once. Slower, in the end, generating themselves more break opportunities. But Fawkes just about hung on to them. A lot of those came on that one point where there were 9 turnovers aside. Let's not forget. 8 blocks apiece. Fawkes, however, were just able to keep their composure a little bit more often. A couple of errors crept into Slower's game. And when you're down already, you can scarcely afford those. Delighted to say we're joined on the sideline by a back-to-back champion in this division, Nikki Spiver. Nikki, congratulations. How does it feel?
Feels great. It's a culmination of a lot of work. Inspiring work by everybody in this Masters team in the off-season. Really grinded, after work, finding time with kids to go just grind every day. And people really wanted this, and they earned it. We earned it.
You say with this group of people, what has it been like being here this week with this team and then able to get to this moment?
It's been magical, it's just been magical. It's like something like family. Just the care that everybody has put in, the relationships go back 20 plus years. People bringing their families, connecting. It's just a beautiful thing seeing people continue to play competitive sports as a group as we get older and fight through injury and challenge to just be out here and battle and live their values on and off the field. I want to give a shout out to the people at the gate who came and talked about Palestine and called for action, and those people really speaking up. That's inspiring as well.
Lovely. Fawkes are a team that are probably a little bit goofier than some of the others out here. Do you think that kind of helps, that in the pressure moments you can just stay a little bit looser?
Absolutely. I think it's important to have the confidence, the intensity, and the joy. And Michael Venezia, our leader, he always helps us bring the joy, cultivates that. We're all still looking for a golden snitch right now. Apparently there's one still out there that's worth a lot of house points. We're all divided into 4 houses, and it could mean the difference between who wins the House Cup this year. So we've kept it super fun the whole time. We had trivia last night. We've had just so many fun games. It's a special thing.
Which house are you?
Ravenclaw. We were in 3rd going into this. I don't know where we are right now.
Well, I'm sure you'll hopefully celebrate a double win at the end as well as this Masters Championship. Congratulations, Nikki Spiver.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your coverage.
Lovely to be able to talk to the man of the moment there, Nikki Spiver. 2 blocks and 7 assists. Not a bad afternoon's work as he goes back-to-back after winning with DC Descent 4 years ago.
Got a chance to see Fawkes celebrating with some of their fans there as well, Benji. What a fantastic game we had here today, and just an incredible end to this amazing tournament.
It got started in the most spectacular fashion with the layout there and the Callahan from the Delgado throw by Landry, and from there were big plays all over the shop. Mistakes certainly from both sides as well. In the end, Atlanta Fawkes had the edge. Thank you so much for watching our coverage of the World Masters Ultimate Club Championships this week on Ultiworld. On behalf of our wonderful Ultiworld crew who've been here all week for the wonderful coverage, and all the organisers here and volunteers in Nottingham, that puts a bow on the tournament. The final game, the Mixed Masters Final, Atlanta Fawkes are your world champions. See you on the other side.